Moderate Democrats are finding themselves not only in a battle with the GOP, but also with hard-charging liberals in their own party. Radicals, it comes as some outspoken freshman Democrats are creating tension with party leaders and as the power of the far-left progressive wing continues to grow. What does this mean for the future of the Democratic Party? Joining me right now is Utah Democratic Congressman Ben McAdams, member of both the Blue Dog Coalition and the House Financial Services Committee. And Congressman, it's good to have you on the program this morning.
Great to be on with you,
Thank you so
Maria.
much for joining us. You were one of 15 House Dems to not support Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House. I want to make that clear because you have been one of the Democrats to push back on some of these pie-in-the-sky ideas. How is it going with that?
You know, I think that with the election of the Democrats taking control of the House, the caucus actually moved to the center. Now, you wouldn't get that sense watching the media coverage, but because some of the more progressive members are far more outspoken. But we elected a lot of progressives. The Blue Dog Coalition doubled in size. The largest caucus in the Congress is the New Democrats. They're a group of moderates as well.
Right.
And I think that really is the center of gravity of the Democrats in Congress.
You wouldn't get that from the media. You also wouldn't get that from watching Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This morning, she's at the Texas conference, South by Southwest, and she said that the current situation in America is garbage and that her ideas are 10% better. And what's wrong with 10% better than garbage?
You know, I think that's, we are the greatest country in the world. We have a capitalist system that has created opportunity, cured diseases, created a middle class. And, you know, certainly there have been failures of capitalism, but we shouldn't be throwing out a system that has made us the greatest country in the world. Let's look to fix some of the, you know, people who have been left behind in the capitalist system. But let's fix it and let's move forward. We are a great country.
But
and to throw that out is, yeah.
I don't hear any of your colleagues really pushing back. I mean, most of the Democratic candidates right now who are running for president in 2020 say that they agree with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green Deal. We just had a doctor and an expert on climate change, Senator Barrasso, on the program, who said it doesn't make any sense. You also have Nancy Pelosi yesterday really unwilling or unable to denounce Congressman Omar's anti-Semitism. Why?
You know, I think we had just elected the most diverse Congress in history.
Right,
and with diversity
comes,
with that diversity comes a diversity of opinions. And I think we've got to be willing to embrace all of those opinions. That includes the center. And so, you know, my voice isn't going to be quieted by people who are pushing a more liberal agenda. I was elected by a very moderate district. It's who I am, and that's the district that I'm going to represent.
And frankly, I think that's where much of America is. I mean, most people are hanging out in the middle. You might lean to the right on some issues. You might lean to the left on other issues, but is your voice really being heard by your party? Because it seems like every day we're debating Bernie Sanders' $32 trillion bet on Medicare for all, or Alexandria Ocasio's $93 trillion bet on a new Green Deal, or Elizabeth Warren's tax on wealth, or Kamala Harris's tax on income.
Yeah, I think there are clearly some radical ideas that, at the end of the day, I think we need to focus on what we can agree on, and that's Republicans, Democrats, moderates, left and center, and right. And that is, I think we want to transition to a clean energy economy. We want to expand health care coverage and control the costs. And then let's have a debate about what's the best way to do that. But to stake out a radical agenda and then not allow other voices to come to the table, I think is losing the diversity, the strength of the diversity that we have. And so I'm, you know, as a mayor, former mayor in a very red state, one of the things that I found was that reaching across the aisle, listening to people, Republicans and who saw things differently, but were trying to accomplish the same goal, we could actually make our ideas better by listening and then actually get stuff done instead of just advocating for positions that would have very slim likelihood of ever becoming law. Reaching across the aisle and taking a pragmatic view to things, you can actually, you know, I have real-world experience lifting people out of poverty, helping people overcome addiction, get out of the criminal justice system, creating jobs. And we do that by working in a collaborative, bipartisan fashion.
Well, you've got to speak to the other people in the room, and we'll be watching that. I'm certainly going to be hoping that you'll come back and we'll talk more about some of your priorities because they seem to differ from some of the radicals on the left. Good to see you, sir. Thanks very much for stopping by this morning.